You think executions were brutal? Beheadings, burnings, crucifixions. Forget all of that, because history recorded something far worse. A punishment so slow, so terrifying, that people swore the victim's cries could still be heard weeks after he was gone. This is the story of the man buried alive for 40 days. And yes, this actually happened. Our story takes us to the ancient Persian Empire, the time of King Artaxerxes. This was a world where loyalty wasn't optional. It was enforced with blood, and when a man named Mithridates betrayed the crown, he wasn't sentenced to a quick death. No, the Persians had a punishment so infamous it had its own name, the boats. The condemned man was stripped naked. 2 hollowed-out wooden shells, like coffins, were brought forward. He was forced inside, with his head, arms, and legs sticking out. Then they locked him in tight. At first glance, it looked almost merciful, like a strange cage. But the real horror had only just begun. The executioners began feeding him. Milk and honey, poured into his mouth until he choked. Then, more honey was rubbed all over his exposed skin. The purpose? To attract insects. The man was dragged out into the blazing sun, where swarms of flies, wasps, and beetles found him irresistible. His body became their feast. And because he was kept alive with food and water, he couldn't die quickly. The insects laid eggs inside him. The larvae hatched. And the victim was eaten alive from the inside out. According to ancient historians, this torture could last days, even weeks. The longest account says one man survived for 40 days. Imagine it. You can't move. You can't escape. Your body is your coffin. Every scream only makes the crowd cheer louder. The stench of decay, your own decay, hangs in the air. This wasn't an execution. It was a slow-motion erasure of a human being. Greek historian Plutarch recorded this punishment in detail, and others echoed it. They wrote that the victim's flesh was consumed by worms while he still breathed. Each day, guards checked if he was alive. If he was, more milk, more honey, more insects. It was less a sentence of death and more a sentence of rot. Now, let's separate truth from legend. Did someone actually survive 40 days? Probably not. That detail was almost certainly exaggerated to horrify listeners. But the punishment itself? It's real. Multiple independent accounts confirm that the Persians used it on traitors. The name, the boats, became a whisper of terror across the ancient world. And unlike the guillotine, which promised a swift end, this was designed for pure. Why such cruelty? Because execution wasn't just about removing enemies. It was about sending a message. If you cross the crown, your death wouldn't just end you. It would turn your body into a lesson, your suffering into a warning carved into memory of everyone who saw it. This wasn't justice. It was fear weaponized. So, what do we learn from this forgotten execution? That the most horrifying punishments in history weren't always about speed or spectacle. Sometimes, the true terror came from how long a human being could be forced to suffer. Buried alive, not under earth, but under their own decaying body. That's why the story of the boats is remembered as one of the cruelest punishments ever recorded. What do you think is worse? A fast, brutal execution like the guillotine, or a slow, torturous one like this? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And for more dark, hidden stories from history, make sure to subscribe, because the truth is always more horrifying than the myth.